chapter 2.
Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yenaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Adadana Sunam Danta Idam Yache Punah Punah Shrimad Rupapadam Bhuja Tulisyam Janma Janmani. Sarvatham, first of all, offer my billions of obeisances to lotus feet of Asmadi Guru Pad Padma Nitila Prit Jagat Guru Shishyamat Bhakti-Vidanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Then offer obeisances to lotus feet of Triandi Sannyasi Shishyamat Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Maharaj. Also Namnishta Sant Shri Aniruddha Das Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who are gathered here for online class. Please accept my humble obeisances. So we are discussing Caitanya Caritamrta. Caitanya Caritamrta is the crest jewel of all the scriptures, and Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Swami Maharaj has mercifully translated this book in English language for the benefit of most of the people of the world. English is an international language, so those who want to benefit, they should study this book, English book. It's actually a very nice book, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So in this one, the chapter 2, we are at the verse number 3. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Shri Nityananda. All glories to Shri Advaita Chandra. And all glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga. So here, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Dev ki jai ho. All glories to Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai ho. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu. All glories to Shri Advaita Chandra. Advaita Acharya is comparable here to the moon. And all glories to Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, devotees of Gauranga. So now, here, तृतीय श्लोकेरार्थ करी विवरण वस्तु निर्देश रूपम मंगलाचरण. Let me describe the meaning of the third verse of the first 14. It is an auspicious vibration that describes the absolute truth. So here, the third verse is being described. And the third verse is Yat Advaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha Sriya Atmantaryami Purusheti Swasyamsha Vibhava Shadeshwarya Purno Yahya Bhagavan Saswayamayam Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Paramiha Yad Advaitam Brahmopanishadi Tadapyasya Tanubha Yatmantaryami Purusheti Swasyamsha Vibhava Shadeshwarya Purno Yahya Bhagavan Saswayamyam Na Chaitanyat Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Paramiha. Here, what the Upanishads describe as the impersonal Brahma, Upanishads call him as the impersonal Brahma, is but the effulgence of his body. And the Lord, known as the Super Soul, is but his localized plenary portion. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. He is the absolute truth, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. So the compilers of the Upanishads speak very highly of the impersonal Brahma. The Upanishads, which are considered the most elevated portion of the Vedic literatures, are meant for persons who desire to get free from material association and who therefore approach a bona fide spiritual master for enlightenment. The prefix Upa indicates that one must receive knowledge about the absolute truth from a spiritual master. One who has faith in his spiritual master actually receives transcendental instruction as his attachment for material life slackens. he is able to advance on the spiritual path. Knowledge of the transcendental science of the Upanishads can free one from the entanglement of existence in the material world. And when thus liberated, one can be elevated to the spiritual kingdom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by advancement in spiritual life. The beginning of spiritual enlightenment is realization of impersonal Brahma. Such realization is effected by a gradual negation of material variegatedness. Impersonal Brahman realization is the partial, distant experience of the absolute truth that one achieves through the rational approach. It is compared to one seeing a hill from a distance and taking it to be a smoky cloud. This is actually very much common in Tirupati. We generally see the Tirumala hills, and sometimes we see clouds there. We see only clouds are there. A hill is not a smoky cloud, but it appears to be one from a distance because of our imperfect vision. In imperfect or smoky realization of the absolute truth, spiritual variegatedness is conspicuous by its absence. This experience is therefore called Advaitavad. This is called Advaitavad, or realization of oneness of the absolute. So, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukha ekantikasya cha. So, the basis of impersonal Brahma is Krishna, but not many people pursue Krishna. Understand? So, there is no variegatedness in Brahma. This experience is therefore called Advaitavad, or realization of the oneness of the Absolute. The impersonal glowing effulgence of Brahman consists only of the personal bodily rays of the Supreme Godhead, Shri Krishna. Since Shri Gaurasundar or Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is identical with Krishna himself, the Brahman effulgence consists of the rays of his transcendental body. Similarly, the super soul, which is called the Paramatma, is a plenary representation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Antaryami, the super soul in everyone's heart, is the controller of all living entities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Lord Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishta. I am situated in everyone's heart. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. Bhagavad Gita also states 5.29, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram, indicating that the Supreme Lord, acting in his expansion as the super soul, is the proprietor of everything. Similarly, the Brahma Samhita states, Andantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. The Lord is present everywhere, within the heart of every living entity, and within each and every atom as well. Thus, by this super soul feature, the Lord is all pervading. Furthermore, Lord Chaitanya is also the master of all wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, because he is Sri Krishna himself. He is described as Purna, or complete. In the feature of Lord Chaitanya, the Lord is an ideal renouncer. Just as Sri Ram was an ideal king, he accepted the order of a sannyas and exemplified exceedingly wonderful principles in his own life. No one can compare to him in the order of sannyas. Although in Kali Yuga, acceptance of the sannyas order is generally forbidden, Lord Chaitanya accepted it because he is complete in renunciation. Others cannot imitate him, but can only follow in his footsteps as far as possible. Those who are unfit for this order of life are strictly forbidden by the injunctions of the Shastras to accept it. Lord Chaitanya, however, is complete in renunciation as well as all other opulences. He is therefore the highest principle of the absolute truth. By an analytical study of the truth of Lord Chaitanya, one will find that he is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. No one is better than or equal to him. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasya dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Bhagavad Gita 7.7. Thus it is here confirmed that there is no truth higher than Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya. The impersonal Brahma is the goal of those who cultivate the study of books of transcendental knowledge. And the super soul is the goal of those who perform the yoga practices. One who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead surpasses realization of both Brahma and Paramatma, because Bhagavan is the ultimate platform of absolute knowledge. The personality of Godhead is the complete form of Satchidananda, full life, knowledge and bliss. By realization of the Sat portion of the complete whole, unlimited existence, one realizes the impersonal Brahman of the Lord. By realization of the Chit portion of the complete whole, unlimited knowledge, one can realize the localized aspect of the Lord, Paramatma. But neither of these partial realizations of the complete whole can help one realize Ananda, or complete bliss. Without such realization of Ananda, knowledge of the absolute truth is incomplete. This verse of Caitanya Caritamrta by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is confirmed by a parallel statement in the Tattva Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami. In the 8th part of Tattva Sandarbha, it is said that the absolute truth is sometimes approached as impersonal Brahma, which, although spiritual, is only a partial representation of the absolute truth. Narayan, the predominating deity in Vaikuntha, is to be known as an expansion of Sri Krishna. For Sri Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the object of the transcendental love of all living entities. So here, very nice description we saw from Srila Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Maharaj. And यद्वैतम ब्रह्मोपनिषदि तदप्रस्य तदुभा यात्मांतर्यामी पुरुषेति स्वस्यांश विभवा षडैश्वर्या पूर्णो यही भगवान स स्वयमयम न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्वम परमि. So Upanishad call him Advaita Brahma. वे मेरे प्रभु की अंग कांति है. So this impersonal Brahma is the effulgence of Krishna's body, जिनको योग शास्त्रों में अंतर्यामी पुरुष या परमात्मा कहते हैं. There are some scriptures which describe yoga, and that supreme person is known as indwelling super soul, Paramatma, in the heart of all the living entities. But that Paramatma is also the plenary portion of the supreme Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So Bhagavan is the shelter of Brahma and Paramatma. He is the basis of Brahma and Paramatma. And Shri Krishna is Bhagavan. He is the Amshi, the source of all the plenary portion. He is endowed with 6 opulences. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, there is no truth superior to Shri Krishna Chaitanya in this world. So here, Upanishadi Brahma Vidya Vidhana Sarvonnata Veda Shaka Visheshi Upani Purvakasya Visharanagatya Vasadanarthasya Shadaladhatokvipa Pratyayantasya Tatra Upagamya Guru Upadeshad Labdheti Yavat. Upanishad, the topmost spiritual knowledge, is called Brahma Vidya. And here, the word Upa, and there is also suffix Ni, Visharana, Shithil Gati, Avasad, Vinash. So here, the word Upanishad is described. What is Upanishad? Upa means go near the spiritual master, approach the spiritual master, and receive the spiritual instructions from him. When we approach the spiritual master and study Brahma Vidya with determination, steadfastness, we have to study Brahma Vidya from the spiritual master. Shravanashravika means the knowledge which is acquired by the senses, knowledge acquired by the knowledge acquiring senses, and Anushravika, and something that is experienced. So you have to become renounced from these two desires. You have to become free from enjoying one's knowledge acquiring senses and working senses. You have to stop satisfying these senses. And then this Brahma Vidya stops your sense gratification and helps you reach the Supreme Brahma. And what is Advaita Brahma? What is this bright effulgence? That is also Shri Gaura Krishna's transcendental effulgence of his transcendental body. Gaurasundar's body is transcendental. So the effulgence of this transcendental body of Gaurasundar is the bright light, that is Brahma Jyoti. Now Lord, what is the position of Paramatma? Paramatma is the controller of all living entities. And there is one characteristic of Bhagavan's opulence. What is the characteristics of Bhagavan's opulence? The characteristic of Bhagavan's opulence is that he is all-pervading. So that particular portion of Bhagavan, which is endowed with the quality of all-pervasiveness, that is actually Paramatma. So as per this Tattva Vichar, as per the consideration of this philosophical truth, Bhagavan has 6 opulences. All the wealth, all the strength, all the fame, all the beauty, all the knowledge, and all the renunciation. So Bhagavan is completely free from any other dependency. He is endowed with all the opulences. And that Supreme Bhagavan is Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So as per the consideration of philosophical truth, in Kali Yuga, there is no other shelter superior than Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So actually you'll see that all the scriptures about knowledge, their goal is Brahma. All the scriptures about yoga, their goal is Paramatma. Actually, as per the philosophical truth is considered, there is some similarity in Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. However, as far as their adhikar is concerned, then you'll see that Brahma is nothing but the effulgence of Sri Krishna's body, and Paramatma is only a plenary portion of Bhagavan's body. Therefore, these Brahma and Paramatma are not Swayam Bhagavan. They are not Sampurna Savishesh Shaktiman. They are not Swayam Vastar Bhagavan. So, for this, we have to consider the shlok number 8, the verse number 8 in Tattva Sandarbha of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad. Yasya brahmeti satyam kvachidapi nigame yati chinmatra satyam panshvasyam shakai swair vibhavati vashayaneva mayam pumamsya ekam yasseva rupam vilasati paramavyomi naranakyam sa Shri Krishna vidatte swayam Bhagavan prema tat pada bhajan. In Vedas, Bhagavan's spiritual existence, Chinmatra Satta, is called Brahma. And one plenary portion of Bhagavan manifests as Purusha, controller of the illusory potency. And that plenary portion of Bhagavan called Purusha manifests as past-time incarnations, lila avatar, and qualified incarnations, guna avatar. And one plenary portion of Bhagavan, one form of Bhagavan resides in Paravyoma, that is in Vaikuntha. So that Bhagavan Shri Krishna must bestow prem on the devotees who worship his lotus feet. So there's a prayer actually that, O Lord Krishna, O Bhagavan Shri Krishna, please bestow love and affection to the devotees who are worshipping your lotus feet. Some people are not interested in focusing on the bliss aspect of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Bhagavan is Sachidananda, full of knowledge, bliss and eternity. But some people are cheated of the audience of the blissful aspect of Bhagavan. They avoid the darshan of blissful aspect of Bhagavan. So they think that this particular manifestation of Bhagavan, which performs spiritual pastimes, it is, but they only expect the knowledge aspect of that absolute truth. They ignore the bliss aspect of the absolute truth. Because they only see the knowledge aspect of the absolute truth, they are able to realize only Brahma. And those who try to understand the knowledge and eternality aspect of the Supreme Lord, then they receive the audience of Paramatma. But Bhagavan, who is the full of knowledge, bliss and eternality, he is the embodiment of so many pastimes full of knowledge, bliss and eternity. And the bodily effulgence of that Bhagavan is actually Brahma. What is this Brahma? Brahma has no spiritual pastimes. It is completely formless and it is devoid of the illusory contact. And one plenary portion of Bhagavan is called Paramatma. One plenary opulence of Sri Krishna is called Paramatma. So, if you want to see the topmost relationship, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is the emporium of all the mellows, he is the abode of all the mellows, Akhila Samrata Murti. And his magnanimous manifestation is Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Other than Sri Krishna, neither Brahma, nor Paramatma, nor Bhagavan's any other incarnation can be the abode of all the mellows at the same time. But in Sri Krishna's body, you can see all the mellows simultaneously present at the same time. So therefore, if you do the comparative study of Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan, then you'll see that Brahman realization is great, but Paramatma realization is greater. And realization of Bhagavan is the supreme, topmost. So some people they negate, we don't want to, we have to ignore the external potency of Bhagavan. They say this is not Bhagavan, this is not Bhagavan, this is not Brahma, this is not Brahma. And then by this negation of the material energy, they come to the realization of Brahma. But if we consider the Tatastha Shakti, the marginal potency of the Lord, or when we consider that Paramatma is the indwelling super soul of all the living entities, and when we also include the internal potency or Swarup Shakti of Bhagavan, then we realize Adhokshaja Bhagavan, who is the embodiment of Vaikuntha. ब्रह्म में पर ब्रह्म का क्लिवत्व और निर्विशेष भाव मात्र प्रकाशित है. So in Brahma there is Kliva. Kliva means neuter gender. Means neuter. And impersonal aspect. So suppose you worship the neuter aspect of Bhagwan or only the female aspect of Bhagwan, then the desire of the human life is not fulfilled. The human life cannot reach its topmost standard if you only worship the neuter, asexual, or the female aspect of Bhagwan. In order to get complete satisfaction, we must worship the Aprakrut Purusha, the transcendental supreme male, and Aprakruta Prakriti, the transcendental female. Together means we'll have to render service to the transcendental divine couple which performs sweet pastimes, Radha and Krishna. And then only the duties of the human beings are complete. If you see only Brahma, which is neutral gender, and get the liberation of merging in that impersonal light, then that merging in impersonal light or Sayajya liberation cannot be considered the topmost religion of human beings. Actually, Brahma and the living entity, both are conscious. Therefore, the Shruti says, Aham Brahmasmi, means I am a conscious living entity, not that I am Bhagavan. Aham Brahmasmi means I am a conscious living entity. Therefore, in Smriti Shastras we are saying, Na Deva Deva Marchet. One who is not a demigod, those who don't have the good qualities like demigods, then they cannot worship the demigods, the deities. One must be endowed with this identical qualities like the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then only we can worship Krishna. So we are human beings. What is our topmost religion? Our topmost religion is to worship the supreme human being, Shri Krishna. Is Parama Manava. Shri Krishna appeared as the topmost of the human beings. He actually enacted the pastime of being a human being, but he is not actually a human being. He is the Supreme Lord. Gudam Param Brahma Manushalingam. So that Bhagavan is Kapata Manusha. He is disguised as a ordinary human being. But actually he is Rasovaisaha. He is the mellow of all the mantras of the Vedas, Shruti mantras. There is no nectar in Klivatva, in neutral gender. The topmost mellow is present in Purushottama, Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this mellow between Shri Krishna and the living entities is not dull mellow. It is the transcendental mellow. And in this connection, in Bhagavad Gita also said, Rasavarjam rasopyasa param drishtva nivartate. When one receives the topmost mellow of bhakti, then one will forget all the mundane mellows. Paramatma, what is Paramatma? He is the small portion of Paramarasa Sarup Bhagavan Shri Krishna. He is the indwelling soul of all the living entities. But actually, the indwelling super soul, whether individual or collective, cannot fulfill the desires of topmost progress of the living entities. So therefore, the four-handed Narayana has four hands. फिर तुरीय वस्तु का संधान देने पर भी, so Narayan gives us the idea of something which is beyond our sensory perception, but he cannot reveal, Chaturabhuj Narayan cannot reveal the topmost intimate service as the topmost religion. Hare Krishna. So there is a little long discussion out here about Narasimhadev and others. So we'll carry on next time. Hare Krishna. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. Any comments or questions? Tomorrow is Lalita Saptami, appearance day of Lalita Devi. Radha Mukunda Pada Sambhava Garma Bindu, Nirmanchanopakarani Kritadeha Laksham, Uttunga Savrata Vishesh Vashat Pragalvam, Devim Gunais Lalitam Daditam Namah. Lalita Devi, she, even if one drop of perspiration may appear at the lotus feet of Radha Krishna, Lalita Devi tries to expand her body into millions of forms to wipe even one drop of perspiration from the lotus feet of Radha Krishna. So how wonderful maid servant she is. But she's not a maid servant. She actually has all the qualities of being a Naika, independent heroine. But she, although she is greatly qualified, she wants to always see Radha and Krishna to be meeting. She is a very dear friend of Radharani, Prana Prishta Sakhi. So very high quality of Gopi Lalita is there, her appearance is there. She was brought up at Uchagaon. That the village is on the top of a hill because she is the topmost among all the Ashtasakhis of Radharani. Lalita, senior most. And she appeared in Kali Yuga as Swarup Damodar Goswami. So, Lalita Sakhi, she is very dear to Radharani. So, we will be praying to Lalita Sakhi tomorrow. So, Bhagwan has many potencies. These are all, see this, Bhagavad Gita says, Salpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Today I was listening story of Mahashivratri Vrata. Now, many times people ignore Mahashivratri Vrata. It comes once a year. So, Nimnaganam yatha Ganga, Devanam achyutatha, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu, Purananam idam tatha. So, Shiva is the best of the devotees of Krishna. And Bhagavad is the topmost Quran. So, Ganga is the best river. So, there was one, I think, one princess. And she was very proud of her beauty. So, but she committed some sinful activity. And as a result, she became leprosy-stricken beggar. She didn't get enough food to eat also. So once she went to one place called Gokarna Tirtha, which is on the shore of the ocean, Arabian Ocean, in Karnataka. In Gokarna, all the stones there are actually Shivalinga. Everywhere there is Shivalinga is there. So she is thought that in temple they will give some food. For many days I have not eaten. So she was waiting. And she was born also blind because of the past sinful activities. That princess was born as a leprosy-stricken blind woman, very old woman. So somehow she reached the temple, although she had no eyes, and she sat outside a temple. It was a Mahashivratri day, and she thought someone will give the food, but someone put something in her bowl, and it was only one leaf. So she touched that leaf because she had no eyes. And then she realized this is just an ordinary leaf. So she was angry. And angrily that beggar woman, she threw that leaf. It was Bilva Patra, the which has three leaves always. And that Bilva Patra fell on the Shivalinga, because everywhere there is Shivalinga in Gokarna Kshetra. As a result of that, she was liberated from that horrible condition. And she had uttered the name Shiva Shiva once. Because she was thinking, I am taking a goat with me, but actually it was not a goat but a cow's calf. So when people are embarrassed in India, they say Shiv Shiv, Ram Ram, like this. So by chanting the name of Lord Shiva, and then that night she didn't get any food and she became very weak. She fell down and her head broke and she died actually. It was on Mahashivratri night. Yamadutas came actually to catch her because she was sinful. Because she was eating only the remnants of the dog eaters, Chandalas. But Shiva's Dutas just away Yamadutas. So even if one offers one bilva leaf to Shivalinga, prays to Gopishwar Mahadev, we generally don't offer bilva leaf, we offer flowers to Gopishwar because he has become a gopi. And one bows down to Gopishwar Mahadev, Bandkhandi Mahadev, Radha Krishna, chant the names of Radha Krishna. Actually, we chant the names of Radha Krishna because there is no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna himself. And these names are superior than anyone else's names. So there is no rules and regulations for chanting the holy name of Krishna. A lot of people actually, they eat, but after eating what to do they don't know, they fall sick. After you eat, you are supposed to rinse your mouth 16 times. The scripture says 16 times. Any food particles which are there in your mouth should be removed properly. So you have to, rinse your mouth 16 times. And then some people have eye problems. So after taking prasadam, you just take some water, rinse your mouth 16 times, then take some water and with your middle finger, ring finger and your thumb, you Om Dhanvantare Namaha, Om Sukanyaya Namaha, Om Ashwini Kumaraya Namaha, like this you say. Sukanya was the daughter of King Sharyati and she was the wife of Chavan Rishi. One time Sharyati went to the forest and there one ant hill was there, created by the white ants, termites. And Sukanya saw something twinkling in this small hill and ant hill. And she took a thorn and she, broke those two twinkling lights. And they were actually the eyeballs of Chavan Rishi. As a result, king's soldiers could not pass in his stool or urine. Then king realized he may have committed some offense, so he married his daughter Sukanya to Chavan Rishi. But later on, by the mercy of Ashwini Kumar, Chavan Rishi regained his youthfulness and Sukanya got a young husband. She married an old husband, but actually her husband became again young. So like this. So Shastra says many things. Remember Dhanvantari, Sukanya, and like this. So we should always try to, but at least Mahamantra we should chant. Many people chant Vijay Mantra, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. In the scriptures, this particular mantra is called Vijay Mantra. But Mahaprabhu gave us Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So you see that Bhagavan, he manifests as half lion, half man, as Nrsimhadev. But he manifested the opulence and unlimited potency of Vaikuntha, Narayan, Nrsimhadev. But in Nrsimhadev, you cannot see the complete development of the nature of human beings because he's still half lion and he's half man. Therefore, Bhagavan appeared in the form of a dwarf as Vamandev. And he asked 3 steps of land from Bali Maharaj. But Bali could not understand this is the Supreme Lord. The Sri Krishna was beyond the material existence, thought that Vaman is an ordinary human being. But Vaman manifested a gigantic form called Trivikram form. And he measured all the kingdom. And then he showed his great opulence, Tripad Vibhuti. But Parshuram, what he did? Parshuram, he misused his Kshatriya dharma. And then, if there is actually destruction of Vishnu Bhakti, many people are so-called Kshatriyas, understand? But they don't follow the Kshatriya dharma. The Kshatriyas, the ruler class, must try to protect the Sanatana dharma. So basically now also some litigation is going on in India. I was listening on YouTube video yesterday that all the Hindu temples are controlled by the government of India. The government of India adopted one constitution written by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar saying that India is a secular country, it's not a Hindu country. But government shows enthusiasm, too much enthusiasm in controlling all the Hindu temples. All the Hindu temples like Tirupati Balaji, which has the earning of about 1,300 crore rupees per year, 75% of that money goes to the coffers of the government. All the Hindu temples are controlled by the government of India. And no Muslim mosque or Christian church is controlled by the government. This type of partiality means they can use their funds as they like. But Hindus, all their donations are intercepted by the government and spent on the secular purposes, like building roads, these, that, flyovers, skyscrapers, whatever it is, government offices, railway. They are not used for propagation of the dharma. And the properties of many mathas, like recently in Andhra Pradesh, the government acquired so much land to make golf course from the temples. So many temples were acquired in Tamil Nadu also. Government took over those temples by force. This began from the British times. They adopted some laws and they finished the independent control of the temples. Now some question is coming, the Gaudiya Matha. What is the Gaudiya Matha situation? Gaudiya Matha is two societies, IGBT International Gaudiya Vedanta Trust and Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti Trust. So there are, so all the Gaudiya Mathas are independent. Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Shri Gopinath Gaudiya Math, Shri Mayapur Chaitanya Math, they are all independent. But also there also, in Mayapur also, so much land is actually being acquired by the Muslims. Many Muslims have come from Bangladesh and also from Myanmar, Rohingyas and all. Slowly we are losing our land. The situation is now very delicate. Wherever government is also eyeing the temples. If there is too much infighting is seen among us, if you fight too much and litigation, this and that, then the government will tell you that actually, okay, just hand it over to us. There was an attempt actually to acquire even the Udupi temple. Government wanted to take over that Udupi temple also, but there was a strong resistance from the mathas, and then the government couldn't take it over. Understand? So, but we have to stay united, otherwise government may take over. And there is actually a big challenge to, with hard work, we make a temple, but if there is infighting and litigation going on, we don't show the unity, then what will happen? Government will eventually take over. For example, the Mathura temple, Krishna Janmabhoomi is under government control, but nearby there is a mosque that is not under government control. Kashi temple is under government control, but the mosque, Gyanvapi Masjid nearby is not under government control. Siddhivinayak temple, Ganesh temple, that temple is also government control, but their Haji Ali Dargah, it is not government control. So basically, government wants to control and utilizes their resources of these temples. Understand? But there should be also some dedication to the cause of Hinduism, like protection of the cows, opening of the gurukuls, propagation of the Hindu religion. That is not seen so much by the government side. Government wants to use that money for secular activities, but the funds of the temples should be utilized for preaching Krishna consciousness, propagating it, printing of the books, the Vedic literatures. these things are not there. So actually, I was seeing this video, and anyway, it is the matter is sub judice. I wouldn't like to comment further on it. Now, the Honorable Supreme, the Chief Justice of India, now is Marathi person, Mr. U. Lalit, Honorable Chief Justice U. Lalit. He will decide maybe his time, or some other judge. If he is retired, then someone will decide actually. It's a major matter. The question is coming here that, Sankirtan movement will replace the temples. That Sankirtan movement will replace temples, that will be disappeared in very short time soon. Actually, temples have some importance. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, नामनामकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति स्तत्रार्पिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैव मिदृशा जनिना अनुरागा. All the power is stored in the holy names. There is no time, place, and circumstance for chanting the holy names. And you are right. Sankirtan movement should replace this temple culture. Whether you are in America, when I was in America, there was no temple ready. One temple we had on Rose Avenue, but that was also under renovation, Redley and Rose. So myself and Avdut Maharaj were practically traveling everywhere in the ocean beach, sometimes this beach, that beach, doing Sankirtan in the college, UCLA, this, that, and collecting bhoga from the organic shops, whatever they're going to discard, we used to collect and offer it to Krishna and eat it. So there was no shortage of foodstuffs. Sankirtan is very, very important. If you are not having any temple, no harm, you can do Sankirtan. That is, you are right actually. But temples also, sometimes they are shelter for the sadhus. Because outside you may be troubled. Rain, dacoits, thieves. In temple you get some shelter actually. So for the sadhus, sannyasis, brahmacharis, even sometimes householders also can stay in nearby temple. If not in the temple, then nearby temple premises, there can be some rented flats, houses for the householders, little away from the temple, so that they can have their own privacy. So like this. It is very, very important that such communities, spiritual communities, should be created so that there is also support mechanism and propagation of Krishna consciousness. Householders also can participate in Sankirtan movement. They can also come with their children and then either do homeschooling or proper schooling for their children. Doesn't matter. But always there will be some this thing. So basically, you'll see that Parshuram, he killed so many Kshatriyas. Like when Lord Ram strung a bow actually. There was a bow with Janak Maharaj. This bow was actually Lord Shiva's bow. And Lord Ram took that bow in the hand. And he strung it. And it was an old bow, so it broke. So Parshuram became very angry. Then Parshuram came to meet Ram on the way when he was taking his bride with him, Sita Devi. And then he said, "Hey, stop. Did you break the bow of my Guru, Shiva?" And Lord Ram said, "No, I didn't break it. It was very old. I was trying to string it. I didn't try to break it. Automatically it broke, so please forgive me." Then Parshuram said, "Please fight with me and take bow in my hand. First you string this." And it was such a heavy bow, no one could have strung it other than Parshuram. But Ram very easily strung that bow. Then he said, "Now I have strung the bow, I must release an arrow. Where should I release this arrow?" Then Parshuram said, "Release this arrow towards my anger. I have so much anger in me." Then Ram shot an arrow and destroyed all the anger of Parshuram. They became very calm after that. Understand? He became very calm and quiet. So Parshuram actually, although he's born in Brahmin family, but there is actually some misplaced water. Means the mother-in-law, the mother and the daughter, both were trying to conceive children. And the Rishi, the father apparently did the sacrifice, and he kept one water pot for the mother and one for his daughter. So both will conceive children. But then they exchanged, knowingly or unknowingly, they exchanged that water. And the water which was meant for the daughter went to the mother, and the water went to the daughter. Understand? So a Brahman got a ferocious son. Brahman got a very ferocious son because of the exchange of the water. So by mantra, the water was surcharged with some power to beget the proper type of child. Understand? Proper type of child. So ferocious Parshuram was born. But after that, Bhagavan appeared in the form of ideal and cultured human being. Sri Ramchandra was actually a Kshatriya ruler. And he actually showed the moral religious principles of the human beings. Understand? Moral principles. मानव के परम नैतिक धर्म का नैतिक धर्म actually. Everyone has a dharma. Dharma is for everyone. Even dog has a dharma. Understand? Like today I was seeing one video. There are some Mudhol. In Karnataka there is a province called Mudhol. There are some hound dogs. And our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji also was praising these hound dogs. These are used in now Indian army. So they also have dharma, and they also added they are good for hunting, protecting human beings, to patrol the borders of India. India has very long border with China and Pakistan, Bangladesh, and many times some antisocial elements enter through these borders. And patrolling these borders is actually a nightmare, really nightmare. Many times I meet some soldiers from those who are guarding these Indian borders, and I get their calls. They said, "Oh, very difficult to get internet here. We have only one transmitter. There is no tower here. Government military has arranged one transmitter, so they send me WhatsApp message. When is the Ekadashi? This, that, like this. Understand? So dogs also have a dharma to protect. You give them chapati, they will guard you. They will protect you. Understand? So human beings also they have a dharma. And Ram, he was following the ideal dharma. How to be an ideal son, how to be an ideal father, ideal ruler. Understand? For example, Ram was to be coronated on the same day he was born, on Ram Navami day. And Dasharatha Maharaj thought, how will I coronate Ram? Because I have promised Bharat's mother, Kaikeyi, when I married her, that I will anoint her son as the next king. But now I want to anoint elder son of mine, Ramchandra, as the king. So he sent Bharat and Shatrugna to their uncle's house, maternal uncle's house, and to Kaikeyi province, Afghanistan. And he wanted to coronate Ram. But there was actually one lady called Manthara. That Manthara, she poisoned the mind of Kaikeyi. And Ram also had requested Kaikeyi that when I will be coronated as the next prince, designate, Yuvraj, then you should oppose my coronation and send me to the forest because I want to kill many demons. So in this way, Ramchandra, he rejected the kingdom. So they all came to Chitrakoot to persuade Ramchandra, please accept the kingdom again. Now father has left the world. We are the mothers only there. All three mothers requested him, please accept the kingdom. But Ramchandra said, no. My father told me to go to exile. I must follow his order. I must stay in the forest exile for 40 years. Then they said, mother is more than father. So mother is telling you to come back. You must come back. Then he said, no, father is no more. The order was not given by mother alone. The order was given as a joint order from mother and father. And father is no more. Then the history will tell that I didn't obey my father. It is a topmost duty of the son to follow the father's order. Father is the original spiritual master. Such an obedient personality was Sri Ramchandra. And even today, actually, people so much respect Ramchandra in India. As far as Krishna is concerned, they cannot understand so much of his dealings. Understand? So, you can see that Bhagavan is lila Purushottam. His character is completely independent. He is an autocrat. Sri Krishna is called transcendental autocrat. No one can challenge his activities. He said that all the rules are for me. Like in India now, Ganesh Puja is going on. Now Ganesh, he was actually born from Parvati. Not so much role of Shiva there. So he really didn't know who his father is. And once mother was taking bath and she kept Ganesh as a guard. If no one, don't let anyone come inside, I'm bathing. Ganesh was waiting there as a guard and then Shiva came. And he didn't know that Shiva is my father. So he told, you cannot go inside. Then Shiva said, wait a minute, she's my wife. My wife is inside, I can go. No one can stop husband from meeting his wife. But Ganesh said no. And then Lord Shiva chopped off his head. But later on, they said, the first animal you find, take off his head and put on this torso, he'll come back to life. And they found elephant head. So what is democracy? Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami was telling, what is democracy? Democracy is whether you are a drunkard, you are a foolish number one, unintelligent fellow, your vote will also have the same value as an intelligent, scholarly, high-class, reputed person. This is democracy. Means everyone's vote has the same value. He compared the democracy to Ganesh, who has an elephant head and who doesn't know who his father is. I was surprised actually. So we are not criticizing Ganesh here. Ganesh is a great devotee of Krishna. But actually, he represents, we have to not use elephant's head. Elephant may have a very big head. Big head elephant has. But the human head is maybe much smaller, but human head has more intelligence than elephant head. Understand? So we have to know the upasitato. Yat pada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha dvandve pranama samesa ganadi raja. Vignan vihanto malamasya jagatrayasya govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. That placing the lotus feet of Govinda on his head, Ganesh gets the strength to remove the obstacles in the mundane endeavors. How great must be Shri Krishna, who bestows the strength on Ganesh, power on Ganesh to remove the obstacles. So you see that it's called Taratama Bhav. What to speak of Ganesh? Even his father, Lord Shiva, also always worshipping the Ram and Krishna like this. So we have to worship Krishna because he is also Upasya of Ganesh and Lord Shiva. So Shri Krishna is Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Akhila Rasamrita Murti Prasomara Juradha Taraka Pali Kalita Shamala Lito Radha Pariyan Vidarjayati. All the mellows are present in Shri Krishna. He is Lila Purushottam. He is Vrajandan Sham Sundar Krishna, son of Nanda Maharaj. And he is the object of topmost religion. Nivritta Tarshe Rupagiya Manat Bhavo Shadashrotra Manoviramat Kahuttama Shlok Gunanuvada Tuman Virajita Vinapashukta. Actually, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, he was telling very nice things about Janmashtami. He said, Janmashtami, we say Annam Brahma. Anna is Brahma. Understand? The Vedas say Anna is Brahma. But which food? Anna means food, grains. But which grains? The grains which are offered to Sri Krishna, that is the real Annam. That is real Brahma, that is Parabrahma. Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnava Salpa Punyavatam Rajan Vishwasaneva Javiti. But Prasadam, the grains may be the food for the body, but for the soul there is Harikatha. So Annam Brahma, really Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami said Annam Brahma means actually Harikatha. Tava Kathamrutam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvigrananti Te Bhurida Jana. Those who speak Harikatha, they are really nourishing the souls. Otherwise our life will become very dry. Understand? Without any juice. So Bhagavan is the cause of all causes. He is Dvibhuja. 2 arms. Sham eva param rupam puri madhupurivara. Vayam kaishorakam devam addeva parorasa. Dvibhuj Rupi of Krishna is the original form. He is Murlidhara. Murlidhara Venukara. Having flute in his hand. Venum Kwanantam is playing the flute. Venum Kwanantam Arvinda Dalayataksham Barahavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaranga. Is Shri Radhanath, this is dear consort of Srimati Radharani, and is Shama Sundar. Although is black in color, is very charming. So just like Shri Krishna is the object of topmost service, his topmost potency is also the object, is also our shelter. We must try to take shelter of Radharani also. Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mai Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. Brad Gautam Yatantra says. Paradevata Radharani, she is Sakshat Krishnamai. Like Radhashtami is coming. She is directly Krishnamai. She is the embodiment of all goddesses of fortune. She is Sarva Kanti. She has transcendental bodily effulgence. And she enchants even Sri Krishna. She is Parashakti. Although Shri Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and Radharani is the supreme shelter, but in order to relish the pastimes, both of them have combined together. And again, so first Radha Krishna separated eternally to relish the sweet pastimes. Although they are one, they became two to relish the pastimes. And now again they combined as Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Radha Krishna combined again. First they separated and then they again combined. Understand? To even more special pastimes. Those pastimes which they could not realize in Dwapar Yuga. So to relish that topmost mellow, they again became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Understand? So this is very great that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Autirne Gaurachandre Vistirne Prema Sagare Yenam Majjanti Mahanartha Sagare. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, and if we don't participate in this Sankirtan moment, then what will happen? We will be only in anarthas, aparadhas. Understand? So we should try to study this Caitanya Caritamrta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, meditate on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna. Uddama Damanaka Dama Gana Virama Maharama Rama Virama Gruhita Nama Karunya Dhama Kanaka Jwala Gaura Dhama Chaitanya Nama Paramam Kalayama Dhama. He is so merciful. He is always chanting Ram Ram. Rama Rama Gana Ramya Divya Chandanartanam Yatra Tatra Krishna Nama Dhanalokanistara. So, by chanting the names of Krishna and dancing, he delivered all the 3 words. We should try to take shelter of lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpataruvaisya kripa sindhuvajapattanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhinam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
So we should do some chanting now.
Yes, actually someone is asking one question. That do you know when we can go Guru Gaura Purnima or Kartik in present darshan without problem? I think now the Corona problem is over.
It is.
Corona is now completely out. And if you show the certifications of inoculation, I think you can approach your local embassies and you may get a visa to India. So this Kartik, maybe you can try for visa. No harm.
Actually,
Oh,
I should be, I don't know, maybe in December, November, December, I should be coming there.
oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, please come. Maharaj already told
Mm,
you you have to come.
yeah.
Yeah, very good, very good.
So let me see how things gonna work. Let me see
Sure,
what is
sure,
the condition, and then
sure,
I'll
sure.
let you know.
Sure, Didi, yeah?
So should we chant?
Absolutely, no harm. Please chant.
Huh?
Please go ahead.
Sorry,
Okay,
Maharaj,
sing.
before you continue, which PDF page did you stop on? Chaitanya Caritamrta.
Actually, Didi, I was referring to this very old this thing. Now we are on chapter 2, where verse number 6 will begin. 2.6. Adi Lila 2.6. You can send out a message right away so that
Okay.
everyone will be on the same page. Adi Lila 2.6.
Verse
Brahma
2.6. Okay.
Atma Bhagavan Anuvadatina Anuprabha Amsha Sarupatina Videya Chinna. This actually will be versing a 2.6, but maybe that not only 2.6 but 2.6, 2.7, 2.8 and 2.9. All these four verses are combined. Brahmatma Bhagavana Anuvadatina Anga Prabhamsha Swarupatina Videya Chinna अनुवाद आगे पाछे विधेय स्थापना अर्थ से अर्थ कहिशु न शास्त्र विवरण स्वयं भगवान कृष्ण विष्णु पर तत्व पूर्ण ज्ञान पूर्णानंद परम महत्व नंद सुत बलि जारे भागवते गाई श्री कृष्ण अवतीर्ण चैतन्य गोसाई. So, explaining the ontological position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these verses will be discussing. Please note it down. I tend to forget. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Ananga Mohan Prabhu, can you please note those down and send it to the group? Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Start, Sachi Devi.
Hare Krishna. Pardon?
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bol. Thank you so much. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranams. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, Jai Diwani, please. Thank you.
Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radha Vinoda Bihari Ji Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Parashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Deiti Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai Jai.
Om Vishnu Parashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai Jai Jai.
Nityalila Pravishto Vishnu Parashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai Jai.
Nityalila Pravishto Vishnu Par Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishto Vishnu Parashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishto Vishnu Par Ashtotara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Parashtotara Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Parama Bhagavat Pravara Shri Srila Gora Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Shri Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Vaishnava Sarva Bhoma Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Shri Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhutraya ki jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhat Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhat Das Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Raya Ramanandari Shri Gaura Prasad Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Antardip Mayapur Simant Dweep Godruma Dweep Madhya Dweep Kola Dweep Ritu Dweep Janu Dweep Modra Druma Dweep Rudra Dweep Patmakar Shri Navadipadam ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvadash Vanatmakar Shri Vrajmandal ki jai. Shri Radha Namukund Ganga Yamuna Tulasi Bhakti Deva ki jai. Srimati Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopi Shiva Mahadev ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiyu ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal ki jai. Sarva Vigna Vinachakari Shri Narsimhadev ki jai. Bhakta Varti Prahalad Maharaj ki jai. Charadam ki jai. Chara Sampradaya ki jai. Charya ki jai. Akarmatarad Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai. Shri Shri Kesari Gaudiya Mat हो तत्सकमात सामुहा की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय. श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय. श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. सामगात भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ananga Mohan Prabhu, for that, and thank you, Marge, for joining us today. Vanchakalpatarubhya kripa
Krapa
sindhubhya
Sindhu Vajradhanam
pavanibhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavibhyo namo
Vaishnavibhyo
vaishnavibhyo
Anantakoti
namo.
Vaishnava Ki Jai. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Marge, are you going to Pune this week, or are you going to be here?
No, actually, I postponed going to Pune because there was some work there, but maybe I'm trying to get it done by post. So I'm not traveling this week, I hope.
Okay, so Sunday is Radha Ashtami, but you'll be available in the evening?
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, then we'll see you on Sunday, Marge.
Okay, thank you. 9
Okay,
o'clock,
thank
same
you,
time.
Marge.
Okay.
Yes, Marge. And Marge,
Alright.
next week Wednesday is your Vyasa Puja, or the week after?
21st September, my birthday.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, that is my physical body, but I don't consider it my birthday. Gurudev said the day you are initiated is your real birthday. Because this
Yes,
is only biological birth, and our real birth is
yes.
the day we took contact with Srila Gurudev. Understand? So,
Yes.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. That all. Hari
Thank you, Marge. Dhanavad Rams. Thank you for all your time. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
dear devotees, for joining today, and we'll see you all tomorrow for Sripad Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Maharaj's class, and again on Sunday with Sripad Bhakti-Vidanta Vishnu Daivata Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Rams.
Hare Krishna. That all. Hari Bol.